All right, we are back getting set up for game five. We're going to have Greg Shaw playing Dark, playing CCT, against Justin Desai, light side, playing The Galaxy May Need a Legend.
Legend is, as we said earlier on the show, a deck that Justin Desai has been playing for a long time. We weren't sure if he was going to stick with it today or if he was going to pivot over to Yoda Communing. He has stuck with Legend. It's Worlds. Play the deck that you know well. Play the deck where you know the lines, and that's what Justin's clearly decided to do. It's served him well so far. Are these both undefeated players?
I know they were both undefeated going into the last round.
Check.
And
They were going to post the standings on the forums.
They
see
were
if
going
they're.
to. Let me double check that.
Yes.
They're the two remaining
The
undefeateds.
two remaining undefeated.
So these are the two 4-0 players.
So we will have one 5-0 player after this game.
Incidentally, if you're looking for the rules for our game, kind of a big topic, how about specific rules for a card that is not often played? All rules, including the most current version of the advanced rulebook, can be found on our website. Go to starwarsccg.org, hover over Rules, and click Star Wars CCG to access the beginner and advanced rulebooks.
And if you're interested in a rule that's not listed in the rulebook, let me know and I will make it. We see a pile shuffle here from both players. It should be noted for the chat that pile shuffles do not actually randomize your cards. They are simply a way to count to make sure that you have the correct number of cards.
It is a good way, even though it doesn't randomize your cards, it's a good way of, if you have a clump of a particular kind of cards in one place, it's a good way of at least fanning it out and distributing it more evenly among your deck, but then you still need to randomize.
Which is
after
still
that.
the opposite of shuffling.
Oh no, it's not shuffling, it's not randomizing. It's just distributing things more evenly so that you can then randomize and get something a little bit more,
All right, so the Legend deck starts the Ray Epic Event Be With Me. It's got some interesting interactions sometimes in the CCT matchup. If Ray goes to space, it stops Wolf from subtracting from Battle Destinies, things like that.
But
It
yeah,
stops,
I think
Jango Fett.
and I think most importantly, it allows Jedi Ray to ignore the objective deployment restrictions.
Yes.
So
It lets you play Jedi Ray.
yeah, so it lets you play Jedi Ray
And
even if
other
there's
Jedi.
another Jedi on the table, such as Luke, who maybe hasn't died yet.
Or it's my mistake. It doesn't stop Wolf, but it stops Jango Fett, and it stops Proxima and other characters who add Battle Destinies. Stops Mighty Jabba.
Boba Fett bounty hunter and lots of scum tricks.
I don't think this deck would play Boba Fett Bounty Hunter because it starts Boba Fett.
CCT wouldn't, but a good number of just general scum tricks or.
Now you're giving me ideas for a new CCT deck that will Persona replace with Boba Fett Bounty Hunter. It was like, surprise! I'm adding 2 more Destinies. That seems pretty good. Like you blow your once per game with Boba Fett V. You can even blow it to go get Boba Fett Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Yes, Paul. These are the only 2 4-0 players left in the event. All right, so Greg's first turn, he plays Despair. He plays Boba Fett down to the security tower. He pulls out the audience chamber, and he'll be able to move over and flip on turn 1. He uses He's All Yours Bounty Hunter to make Boba Fett move for free.
Yep. Flip, and I think, is he going to now draw the rest of his force pile, and on Justin's turn, he'll activate 1 with the Carbonite Chamber console.
Exactly.
But sometimes you do still want to leave 1 so that you have 2.
2 is better than 1.
Depends on what's in your hand that you might want. Like, you could Greedo and Stunning Leader.
You can no longer Stunning Leader.
You can no longer
chamber.
Stunning Leader. It's very different now, but there are plenty of things you could do.
A couple of shield pulls from Greg as well. You get Secret Plans, and There Is No Try. Justin's going to pull out the Octo Twix and Old Man Luke.
Can you please remind us the details of the Stunning Leader change?
Yeah, so the Jabba's Prize Virtual was replaced with the Mithril, and the Mithril says at same site, Stunning Leader is canceled. So you can't play Stunning Leader at the same site as the Frozen Captive. You could still play it, for example, at the Carbonite Chamber if there were a battle over there.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could play it at one of the interior Maz's Castle sites.
But I think the Solid Snack, the Mithril actually streamlined quite a bit about CCT in that there's...
No, the Mithril made the deck worse.
Well, yes, but there's now a card that you can... but there's now a card that you can play, and once per game, it just cancel a battle where a Fett is, and that's
worse.
Well, of course it's worse. It's not as good as Stunning Leader, but it also isn't going to be canceled as often.
Correct.
And,
yeah, I mean,
it has sort of,
it's a
and
guarantee.
it doesn't cost a force the way Stunning Leader does. So you're not going to get caught with your pants down.
It's a guarantee, but in the long run,
it's a guaranteed once per game you can get out of one battle, and often in CCT that's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
So there are, I think, having that in the game and having Stunning Leader not work make CCT's matchups a lot less swingy. Because I've had a lot of games where it's like they come down with a Jedi on turn 1, and I go to play my Stunning Leader, and then they play Impressive, Most Impressive to cancel the Stunning Leader, and then I lose the game.
Okay.
And that's the game.
I hear it.
And I think having that more reliable once per game cancel is both less problematic and more reliable.
It's important here that Greg stack up the audience chamber. He's got Proxima down on turn 2. We're going to see solo upload with a Brave Resistance as well as Force Projection. I think if you're Greg, what you were looking for that turn was Darrow and IG-88 both in your deck. It seems that he didn't find that. Justin's going to deploy Leia's Resistance Transport to Jakku. He looked in his deck previously, so he knew that Holdo was there. He's going to fetch out Holdo. He's going to play Unita. I did not actually see what the top card of his lost pile was that he took back.
I didn't either.
Plays Projection on the Audience Chamber, so he's not going to go there this turn.
Yeah, and the bit about you want IG holding the captive on your opponent's turn too. I agree. I think you want that once per game cancel on turn 1 if Light comes down with anything against Boba Fett by himself. And after that, you should be able to back up with enough that now you're just playing Star Wars. Theoretically. And I like that initial turn 1 stunning leader or turn 1 battle cancel isn't going to just get wiped out the way it used to be.
So it was Anakin that he took off the Lost pile. He also plays Solo and the Falcon to Jakku, so he's got that system pretty well stacked up.
Yeah.
Not impossible for Greg to fight there, especially because if Greg tries to, Justin can't beat both Zuckuss and a Holdo maneuver at that system currently. Meaning, if Justin did try to Holdo maneuver at that system, then he would be weak to Zuckuss if Zuckuss was there as well. Still think it's in Greg's best interest to just continue stacking the Audience Chamber at this part.
Yeah, I would agree.
Imperial Decree from Decree Virtual from Greg. Interesting. Greg's going to split up a little bit. He's going to play Mara to the Carbonite Chamber along with Django. And I'm going to draw some cards.
It's interesting. I understand. I understand the incentive to do that. Because like if you do that, you get around simple tricks. Or is that Erica, or that's just
It's
EPP Mar? Yeah.
It's EPP Mar, but you do get the control phase retrieval from your objective.
Yeah, you get around simple tricks, and you can start retrieving with your objective and put on a little bit more pressure. We'll see if it works out for him. I think he might have left those sites in a state that
good look at Justin's deck there, by the way.
Could be vulnerable.
Looks like Justin's got a Master Luke V. It's going to be strong in this matchup along with Leia Rebel Princess. Well, you can't have a Master Luke V. He's got Old Man Luke out of play. So what was I seeing in his hand?
Yeah, I don't know.
It looked like Master Luke V.
Well, there's I think the Leia's getting thrown back to Brave Resistance. And is that Rose?
Maybe it was Rose.
He put back Leia and got Rose.
I want to see his hand one more time.
I don't know exactly. And he's just drawing some more cards.
That is a very Justin Desai move. Oh, it was force projection. That's what I was looking at.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I knew I saw Luke in a cloak. Proxima going to take Jabba into hand. His other option was Kira.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to retrieve with the objective. Play out the passenger deck. It's the CCT version of the bridge. This is Hondo, and that's going to allow Greg to search his reserve deck, pull out Orasing. Whenever he wants to. He doesn't have to do it right now. And he's not. He's just going to draw some cards. Morrow plus Django continues to be a tempting target for Justin over at the Carbonite Chamber. And meanwhile, you know, the real engine of the CCT Scum and Villainy deck is IG-88. And IG-88 is not on the table for Greg Shaw.
Yeah, not yet.
Now, whether that's intentional so that he can use the Battle Canceller or not, I don't know. I don't see a good reason not to play IG-88. Even if you do want to use the Battle Counselor, you can still swap the Mithril in the move phase, take a card into hand from use pile, and swap it back to Boba Fett. And it prevents you from having to, you know, draw into a certain card. You can still pick any one card. You essentially get a free point man. So I'm gonna assume that he doesn't have it.
I think a lot of times early in the game with CCT, you kind of have to choose between setting up IG-88 or getting the audience chamber well defended right away. Because often to set up IG-88, you've got to use your audience chamber pull on Darrow, and then Darrow pulls IG-88.
It looks like...
And it's if you don't have it, that's assuming you don't have IG-88 in hand or, like, good access to him. And often, like, if you're using your AC pool on Darrow, that means you're not getting Django or Proxima or Cad Bane or, like, something that could really help you. So it's possible that Greg just decided, like, you know what, Proxima's better for me than, you know, IG-88 right now. Setting her up is going to help me defend that site, and IG-88 really isn't.
Quite possible.
And I can always... Proxima will help me eventually find Darrow, ideally, and I can set that up later.
It is unfortunate if he didn't have any of those cards or a Twi'lek Advisor in his hand, because remember, Twi'lek Advisor can still pull Proxima.
Yeah.
It looks like Justin is deciding to not interact here. He's just going to set up on the ground with Rose and BB-8, and he'll satisfy battle plan. He'll be on 2 battlegrounds. He right now is out damaging Greg, and they're both retrieving 1. There's IG-88.
Who are the 4 characters at the antechamber? Looks like
Rose,
Rose,
BB-8,
BB-8,
General Leia.
and Anakin or Padme.
Looks like a rebel is the one just under BB-8.
Okay, I'm not sure who that rebel is, but Rose, BB-8, General Leia.
I don't believe Rey is there. Justin's going to be able to do some damage here in his control phase.
And I'm gonna be a little bit selfish this game. I'm gonna say that our token card for this game is gonna be Boba Fett's Blaster Rifle V.
Is that your card, Lenny?
That is my one and only player card ever. I invented CCT Flip with the teleporting Boba Fett. Was not expecting it to ever be as good as it has turned out to be, because they've given it a bunch more helpers. But
Rey might actually be on table because it looks like Justin's doing a Rey retrieval here.
it does seem that way. But the token for this game, Boba Fett's Blaster Rifle V.
Left, right.
I have made one V card ever. It turned out to invent a new kind of deck that is still played today and is pretty good. That about does it for me. I'm going out.
It's a great card.
I'm going out 1-0 on my V card designs, and that's all we need.
It's really on Greg Shaw to do something here to push back against the setup that Justin Desai has put on the table.
Yeah, for sure.
Stops the +1 from despair. We were looking at Unita Virtual, which is deployed on the audience chamber. That allows
So that, yeah, you
Justin's
don't have the
characters to
deploy
come down for
+1.
normal deploy cost instead of deploy +1.
So you out? I don't know if I'm playing it. I'm gonna start getting high.
Oh, come on, man.
I really, my motivation is to maybe figure out try to help you out later on.
All right, here's Nalhada from Greg, and that means he's not. It is a little strange because he's deploying characters to the antechamber, but he's also going wide. So feel like if you're going to commit down to interacting, you should commit to interacting, but looks like he's going to split the difference as we see Shizor on Slave 1 along with Stinger. I don't know how I feel about Stinger in this deck. The deck tends to play 3 ships. The combination that I think I like best is Slave 1, Ellis, and Zuckuss and Mist Hunter. But you do see Stinger in some of these builds.
I do like Slave 1 in this deck just because you can start
You can
with
start
in
it,
your
yeah,
hand.
there's no reason not to.
Yeah. I like Ellis. I liked Jabba's Space Cruiser in it. I don't know.
I
that
do like Jabba Space
been
Cruiser
changed a
in
little
it.
bit,
It just
but-
doesn't. No, I still like Jabba Space Cruiser in it. It just doesn't. It's not in my top 3, I
Yeah.
suppose. It would be. I would definitely play Jabba Space Cruiser over Stinger, if given that option.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Stinger, like, it doesn't. It certainly doesn't bother me. Like, it's a
Stinger's-
fine card.
Stinger's really only good unless you want to commit Guri to space, which I think a lot of the time is not what you want to end up doing.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there are some matchups where Stinger in space is just almost GG.
Yeah.
Because you're basically taking away a path of removal.
I mean, you can throw Guri on any other ship if you need to.
Yeah. But, like, Guri on the Stinger, and especially if you have, like, Ellis and Hinthrow with Woof, then it's
Yeah.
like, okay, they're drawn a Destiny, they're limited to 1, and it's -1, and my ships are immune less than 5. And, like, some decks just can't clear you then.
I mean, but that works without Stinger.
It's a lot cheaper with Stinger, because you get a very cheap Guri.
Well, Guri plus Stinger is what, 5? And Guri by herself is...
No, the Stinger is 1 with Scum,
Oh.
and then Guri is free on it, so they need to play
Okay.
the Shield.
Okay.
They need to play Goldenrod, and then it costs a total of 3.
Okay. Sure.
Or it's 1 if they don't play Goldenrod. Guri by herself on the ground is 6.
The ship still doesn't... The ship makes it cheaper, but it doesn't add anything to the combo. The good card is Guri. It's not the
The
Stinger.
good card is Guri. Stinger is just a card that makes getting Guri out a lot cheaper. Which is fair. That might not be... You might want a ship that does a little bit more than that, but getting Guri set up in space can be that good that it's worth playing.
Stinger adds
Stinger
Battle
adds a
Destiny,
Battle
sure.
Destiny.
You've got a million cards that add Battle Destinies.
You're
And-
playing Scum, you've got like 20 cards in the deck that can add Battle Destinies.
And guess what? If Justin wants to put Rey in space, then they don't.
Or if there's a Sandy effect, or if there's
Yeah.
a command, or if there's,
But here we're going to see Gold Leader and Gold 1 along with Poe, speaking of adding a Destiny.
Uh-huh.
Remember, Shizor does not work in space, so Shizor is not limiting Justin from drawing 2 Destiny here.
Yeah, he's just adding a couple of power and his ability, and he's some forfeit fodder. Because you really don't want to lose the ship if you can help it.
Mm-hmm. And Greg has 4 saved, right?
Greg, it looks like, has 2,
All right, so he can
Save.
still draw Destiny.
so he's still going to be able to draw. But it depends on, like, is he going to be able to do other things?
Would you prefer to see Greg battle there? At the antechamber?
Possibly. With Scum, I tend to just err on the side of
Battle if you have Scum. Yeah.
always be initiating battle.
And this is where it comes to how I was talking about when I said that I don't like splitting the difference.
Yeah.
Now he's facing down a situation where he can get battled in 2 places. And he needs his force to draw Destiny in space. He can't necessarily Stunning Leader
Yeah,
on the ground.
It could get really bad if we see like a Draught
Yeah.
of Fire come out, for example. Like then you're really putting the pressure on Greg's force pile right now. But it looks like we're just gonna get a battle on the ground for starters. Okay, who's the? I see Dejasper. I see EVP
Dengar.
Dengar. Who's the middle alien there?
I thought it was Dr. E or Greedo. Might be Dr. E.
Looks like
Pretty sure it's Dr. E. Or Ponda, maybe.
FedEx is closed. No, just right now. 12 to 4 on the weekend.
Do you know who the middle alien is here?
On what for?
For Greg.
Justin?
No, for Greg. Dengar, and then who's right on top of Dengar.
Oh, I don't know. I don't play that.
This is a PG-13 stream.
Oh, I know, dude. I've been swearing French choose kids all day. I feel
That's it?
I'd go watch, but like Justin hates that, so I don't want to do that to him.
Yeah.
How's it looking for him?
I think it's looking pretty good for Justin right now. It's still fairly early on. There haven't been any battles yet. We've got Steve Baroni here in the booth with us.
What's up, guys?
Steve, you want to come in and...
Oh, I think I'm supposed to have my mask on. What up? What up?
No, you can take it off here.
Anybody got an update on the Mustafar Masters series today?
Oh, I forgot that was happening today.
Yeah.
It's Dr. E.
Oh.
Dr. E there. So he
He
lost
just
the other
wiped out
two.
rest. Yeah. Man,
Yeah.
Justin is so good at this game. It's insane.
So on the last turn, Greg deployed those three guys to the antechamber, didn't battle, deployed Nal Hutta, deployed those ships to Nal Hutta, and then Justin on his turn came down with Gold Lear, Gold One, and Poda Nal Hutta, battled at the antechamber,
And moved another ship
and
over.
moved another ship
for-
over. So,
If it's a slow game, there's no way you can beat Legend.
mhm.
Like, I think CCT is probably just too slow.
Yeah, he didn't get IG-88 until like turn 4. Justin projectioned on turn 2.
Comma is a.
Paul Myers in chat asks Baroni, what did it feel like to cross Leia for the win?
Felt like winning. I don't know, dude. I just figured I did it wrong in case he was gonna come running and scream at me. Honest to God, I said that to him. I go, I think I did this right, but I go, if not, Casey will come and tell us. And
You have to do this to the bottom card to pretend that you're shuffling, and then you have to let him cut.
yeah, right.
You know?
Nah, he's a good dude though. I like that guy. I just lost. I got destroyed by Charlie's QMC. I wish you were here, Myers. Justin's been gassing you up all week. How are you?
So it's interesting to me that Greg decided to lose what he did and leave Dr. E. You got to think that means there's
I mean,
somebody else in his hand who he's planning on adding to that.
He's just probably throwing the towel in on life right about now.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. E's got the worst forfeit of anyone in the group, so the question is, does he want to abandon the site entirely, or does he just want to, save whoever he can and come down with whatever's in his hand? He doesn't have much better options.
He doesn't.
Is that his brother?
Yep.
I mean, yeah, like abandoning the site entirely. Like he needs the GIC, but I assume he's got it by this point.
He can't do any damage, so. Like, he won't be able to do enough damage to get through the retrieval of Legend.
When I play this
Well,
matchup, I tend not to play Nal Hutta, and I
yeah.
just go hard to try to kick them out of space at Jakku, and it either works or it doesn't, and that tends to decide the matchup.
I think, Scum certainly can, retrieve enough to outpace what Legend can do. But it's going to require them to initiate battle every single turn, and against Legend, it's so hard to do that because they're going to be stacked up at like 2, maybe 3 battlegrounds,
What
and it's really pick your poison.
What location did Justin start?
It
Did he
look-
start Jakku or did he start the site?
He started Jakku.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did Greg got him? I guess they don't. It's not court. They don't have to play now out of turn one.
No, he
Right.
played Nalhada last turn.
Last turn.
Yeah. Yeah. Typically, when I'm playing this matchup as CCT, the important cards for me, I want to get Ellis set up with Woof and Ponda Baba and Guri, and I want to start just battling, retrieving in space, dumping forfeit fodder on the ship, drawing a assuming he plays Raid of Space, draw Battle Destiny, draw Destiny to attrition, limit him to 1 Destiny, and just try to attrition out the characters I'm retrieving when I'm battling. I do play the Blaster Ping, which he hasn't been able to get going.
You miss playing that Worlds like today, you guys?
I'm starting to.
I
I haven't played the game in 8-9 months,
Yeah.
so just being away for that long because life kind of got in the way for a while, and just wasn't able to do any prep for this, and was like, all right, you guys need commentary, I'll come do commentary, but.
I mean, I love the appeal of doing commentary, not
Yeah.
playing, because honestly, I freaking hate playing at this point in the game or life, or whatever. But I don't know how you could do this for 8 hours a day.
It's a grind. The progression of my day doing this is I wake up in the morning and I have no desire to play Star Wars cards. Then games 1, 2, and 3, I get super jealous, and now I'm
Yeah.
exhausted. And I'm like, thank God I'm not playing Star Wars cards.
You just gotta run out of things to talk about. Like, how do you talk for 8 hours?
You really don't. You just
There are people in this community who I guarantee you could do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, without a doubt.
like
I bet you Jellison could. No, that's Surson. My bad, dude.
no, it's less talking
No,
for 8
Cersei's here.
hours and more just like what's happening in the game.
Yeah, but you're still talking.
How is it important? But like,
I lost.
but sometimes nothing's
You went-
But sometimes nothing's really happening in the game, and you just kind of are sitting there letting it happen. And it's the one thing I've always found about doing commentary for streams is that, like for this game especially, you don't talk as much as you think you would.
Anybody say anything good in the chat?
Someone's asking if you're 4-1. You're 3-2, right?
3-2.
Paul says, wish I could have made it.
Yeah, man. You're the only reason why I came this weekend.
Paul, come down tomorrow.
I think you should cover my plane ticket. I want a refund.
Consolation tomorrow's retro event. Bring retro decks.
He'd never be able to finish in time. All right, later, dude.
All right, see ya.
Bye, Steve. Thank you for stopping by.
So it looks like Greg did back up the antechamber.
Looks like Cad Bane and a droid, maybe. Paul, I know his most recent loss was to QMC. I don't know what his first loss was.
Casey, does it shock you at all that Greg has been able to just leave those two characters at the Carbonite Chamber for really this whole game, and
No, because
Justin hasn't really been able to interact with it?
it's not that he hasn't been able to interact with it, it's that he hasn't had to interact with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Those are two of Greg's best characters for this matchup, and he hasn't been able to commit them to the site where the action is actually going on.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that Justin hasn't flipped his objective yet. Actually, now he is
Yeah,
coming
speaking
down.
of which, there's Ray.
There's Ray with
Anakin's
lightsaber.
yeah.
Justin hasn't flipped his objective yet, and he's waited until he got a battle with Mara, where he can flip and prevent Mara from swinging.
Yeah.
Paul, that's the reason, so that he could wait until a battle where the weapons text mattered.
But yeah, it looks like he's not battling this turn. He's going to let Greg battle into him. Or not.
And then why didn't Dengar shoot BB-8 and Rose? That is a good question. Why didn't Dengar shoot BB-8 and Rose? I don't know the answer to that.
Mike Kessel, you win? Yes. Sweet. Falcon, you win?
Maybe Greg just assumed. I don't know.
Well, maybe it happened pretty quick. I don't know if there was like an Antilles maneuver or a.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Or
Maybe
something
something to
like
stop
that,
weapons.
or-
I'm sure there was something. Oh, we are going to see a disarmed here on Ray.
I like that play a lot.
I mean, I like it better than not doing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Paul, we'll get you an answer for that after the game.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't see if we had an Antilles maneuver or a keep your eyes open or.
Oh, is Chewie there? Is that Chewie under
Oh,
BB-8?
is that Chewie Protector? That would explain it.
That would explain it. If
Yeah.
that's Chewie Protector. That rebel that we were trying to figure out this whole
Yeah.
time who that was. If that's Chewie
That-
Protector, that would make sense.
That would definitely explain it.
Jay Gusiaco for a first-time chat. That's a pretty good one.
And then we see IG-88 finally getting online.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to see Mighty Jabba. He is not adding... Well, no one's adding a Destiny because Ray's there. But he would not add a Destiny at that site regardless. All right, so here's the battle. Luke's going to go out of play. Objective's going to flip. No weapons. And probably just battle Destiny for each side, I guess. Seven.
7 for Dark.
He had like a 1 in 3 shot at that, right?
Yeah. I think he searched his deck earlier, and it was that and two
That
other
and
cards.
two
and
other
it felt a
decent.
lot.
They were all decent Destinies. There was 1-7 in there. I didn't see what he retrieved with Scum.
I didn't either. But
Force projection for Justin, obviously.
yeah. So he does have the +3 power from Despair,
So
I believe.
4, and then the subtract is who knows. It's probably a decently high Destiny card. Greg is dark. So even 3 characters to 1 character, Greg loses 2 characters, and Justin loses nothing.
Yeah.
Three characters to 1 character and drawing a 7.
Legend is
Yeah.
pretty good.
Indeed.
Oh, sorry, no, he is peeling 3 here.
Okay.
So he's peeling 3 to keep Ray on the table because the 7 minus the forced projection. So
Still definitely worthwhile in this
doesn't
situation.
crack her immunity. You want to keep her on the table.
Mm-hmm. Didn't Justin have a redraw there? For the 7?
I don't know, it's been so long since I
Couldn't he have redrawn the 7 with the objective?
It's been so long since I've played with that objective.
I know they've changed that objective a million times.
Yeah, and they've changed it a bunch.
2.
You have to have 2. No. Yeah, you have to have 2 unique resistance characters in order to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, only 1 resistance character. You need 2 because Poe and Gold Leader by itself was nuts.
All right, we got an imbalance. That's going to get
combo.
grabbed.
I think that. Yeah, I think that was just played to make Justin lose a force after he retrieved with Ray.
Yeah. I have no idea what that card is.
Nope, no clue.
They didn't get it. They're kicking a field goal.
No, that's all. You're right. 3 months or less. Yeah, 30 best. Yeah, 3 months. Christmas break. I'm just kidding.
All right, so battle against Ray. Blaster deflection to swing. Another 7 for Greg. That's going to clear the site.
Probably a good battle for Greg.
It just happened. He went top. I would like to see a different Team 5 member.
All right, Dengar going to come down to the antechamber. Chewie's still there. Chewie able to cancel his text. Greg, again, not going to battle. He's going to move Slave 1 over to run away from the fleet at Nalhutta. He's going to move the prisoner to the dungeon and retrieve 2 force. Once per game. This has turned into a fairly grindy game with all the retrieval.
Yeah. And just a lot of locations where both players are stacked up. And
Justin's going to play Ray back to the Carbonite Chamber. And again, no battles at the antechamber. Moving over to Jakku. And I'm going to draw some. Paul, yes, but only once per game. And when they do that, they miss out on a turn of drains at the audience chamber that turn cycle.
and they
Ray is at the Carbonite Chamber. They don't miss out on the full drain, but you're well, I guess actually if you're satisfying battle order and coward, then you don't miss out because you drain +1 at the Mithril site.
Yeah.
So
so like you'll lose the drain of 2 at the audience chamber, but you'll gain a drain of 1
1. Right, you lose the drain bonus.
Theoretically, if you're satisfying
right in the game state as it exists right now, he's not losing it because he can satisfy both battle order and coward.
But no, it's a once per game retrieval of 2 that's gonna cost you a couple of force and a couple of turns to set up, and it requires splitting up some of your stack at the audience chamber.
It costs a total of 4 force.
Costs a total of 4. It requires you to take a couple of dudes from the audience chamber and split them off for a turn or 2, and you're not always going to want to do that. But
what's the matchup?
CCT and Legend. Yep.
This makes me happy though.
Mm-hmm.
I will be right back. Just need a quick bio break.
Absolutely. All right, so we do have a battle. At the antechamber, finally. Looks like Greg was going to play a close call there and draw 5-7. Again, we still don't know the destiny of that C-slip. So Dengar and Dr. E going lost, and Rose and Chewie going lost. Looks like Leia and BB stick around along with Cad Bane and whoever that other character is.
I've been watching this game losses for the last 15 years. I am ready.
Justin going to drain at Rose's site for 2, disarmed and artillery off the top. And then looks like 3 at Jakku. And the ping from BB-8. Retrieval with Rose pulls out Force Projection and Projection of a Skywalker. Projection of a Skywalker out of play. Force Projection retrieved. Welcome back, Lenny.
Thank you.
How was? Anakin, Padawan learner, going to come down to join Rey at the Carbonate Chamber. He's going to battle at the Antechamber and retrieve with Leia.
The other interesting thing as far as moving the Mithril over to the dungeon is that the audience chamber is projectioned?
Yes.
So I guess that doesn't really matter. But the deploy +1 would be turned on at the dungeon for whatever that's worth, because you're getting it away from Unita.
True. So Corran Horn deploys for 5.
Yeah, I don't think that's the reason why you do it, but it's...
It is another interaction.
Yeah.
We've got about 4 minutes in the round, so we're getting down to it. Players are getting low on life force, but there's a lot of retrieval going on.
There's a lot of retrieval. Oh, I can't tell who that is.
Where?
The character at the incinerator that Greg just deployed.
That's Kira.
That's Kira, okay. I guess I am not used to seeing Kira enough.
All right, so the antechamber's cleared out.
Justin's gonna drain for
2 at the Carbonite Chamber.
And then the ping of 1.
He doesn't have a ping
He
anymore.
doesn't have 2 resistance characters there, so he doesn't have a ping.
Yeah.
So it's just a drain for 2 and ray retrieval of 1.
Can you ping in space? Can you ping in space?
Do you have to control?
He controls.
Oh, he does control.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he can.
Fury.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he can ping in space then.
He's going to drain and ping in space, and I think that will all just about... No, Greg's got about 5 force left. Justin going to do ray retrieval. He's obviously going to get back all wings, and BB-8's going to go out of play.
Mm-hmm.
Justin moves over to Nahada.
Yeah.
Then you just get a handshake and get a go and do something else.
And there's the handshake. So Justin Desai going to be the last undefeated player in this event at 5-0. Greg Shaw falls to 4-1. Still very much alive for top 8 with another loss to give. He just needs to go 2-1 in his last 3 games to lock it up. We will get you an update on current results as well as pairings for Game 6 in just a few minutes when we come back.
Timed out.